My name is Lean Tran Layton, and I'm a practicing immigration attorney in the United States. And I'm an immigrant myself. Throughout my life and career, I've had the privilege of meeting people from all over the world who have immigrated to the United States. And I've heard some amazing stories, and I want you to hear them too. These stories will make you feel a range of emotions, but most of all, I hope you will be left feeling inspired. Welcome to the Immigrant Voice. So how have you been doing?
Doing pretty well. Tomorrow is nerve-wracking, but whatever.
Yeah, so for those who are listening to this on a later date, which you will be, it's the eve before the big election day. I'm sure we won't know the results right away.
Probably Friday, I would think, would be at the latest with some of the places.
Yeah.
So, I think Pennsylvania, I think they won't have all their numbers until Friday, or at least Thursday. So
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, we will see. We will see. Why don't you tell us who you are and how long you've been in the States, where you currently live, and where you're from?
Where I'm from is Australia. My name is Leon. I currently live in Salt Lake City, Utah. And how long have I been in the States? All up, including an original mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, 22 years.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. I didn't know that you went on a mission.
Oh, yeah. It's to Salt Lake City.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 98 to 2000. I served here. So, yeah.
Is that the first time that you came to the States, was during your mission?
No, not first time I came to the States. No, I'd come here many times with my parents, but this was the first time I'd been to Salt Lake City or Utah. That was never on my radar, ever.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So it was kind of it was obviously dependent on the church and why they decided you would go.
Yeah.
So you come to Salt Lake City. What did you think of it when you first arrived?
Small.
Mm-hmm.
I was coming from Melbourne, a city of like 5 million people. And so Salt Lake just seemed small, about 20 years behind the time, because this was 98, so it really was. And just everyone seemed very provincial and just a different mindset. And then, of course, I was introduced to green jello and all these other things that are ubiquitous with Salt Lake City and Utah indeed. And I was like, oh my gosh. So, and you have to think, I was introduced to Salt Lake City through the guise of an LDS missionary, and that makes it even more different.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So before you left to come to Salt Lake City, what was life like for you in Australia?
Very different. Very, very different. University, what have you, different university degrees, a lot of different friends. And just, that's a really interesting question. I don't want to say this necessarily, but before my mission, I was in a slightly different socioeconomic background, as in like the 1% of the 1%. My parents had a lot of money. Mm-hmm. And so it made life very different from where it is right now. And so, it just provides different opportunities, different chances for a great deal of travel, a great deal of education, and things that you wouldn't ordinarily consider day to day that you do now, such as paying bills and all those extra things that a regular person does. So it was just a very different kind of lifestyle. Very, very different.
Yeah. So did your parents, when you got the calling to go on your mission,
they were long gone. City? Remember, I don't know whether you remember, but they passed away in 95. So they were long gone. They were the catalyst for me to join the church, because the missionaries got a hold of me through a friend of mine from the Conservatory of Music, and he was a member. And so he showed me some videos, met with the missionaries. I'm like, oh, families are forever. Okay, that sounds good. So then I joined. Yeah, because I was kind of in that space, that headspace, at that moment of being kind of lonely. Yeah. And so it seemed like a great thing to join, and they were wonderful people for that moment of my life that I needed them. And so, yeah, that's what happened there.
So you come here, and did you have a lot of financial resources when you came?
When I was on my mission, I had actually given my power of attorney to other individuals. But by the time I ended on my mission, most of those had been evaporated through illegal means through those individuals that had the power of attorney.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of the inheritance and everything had just been simply dissipated.
Wow.
So my life after the mission was drastically different.
Yeah.
Not that I was poor or anything, but it was just very, very, very different.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
just
bet.
different. Yeah.
So you do your mission and they're 2 years. And so after your mission, what did you do?
Returned home to Australia for about 6 months and applied for a student visa.
Mm-hmm.
And then was accepted to a student visa and came back to the United States because I really quite enjoyed Salt Lake at that point. I mean, my initial gut reaction, as I said, provincial and small. But after 2 years of being here, I kind of fell in love with the place. There's a real beauty to Salt Lake City, the seasons, the enormous variety of things that you can do here. It's really quite an amazing state and city. So I fell in love with it after those 2 years and decided to return and went to school to complete a degree. And yeah, that's primarily how I came back to the United States.
Were you ever homesick?
I'm still homesick in many ways for many things.
Mm-hmm.
A number of things, the foods, the different culture. We may all speak English, but the cultures could not be more different. They just couldn't be more different. So yeah, I definitely was, and I still am in many ways. But my home now is very much where I live with my husband, and Salt Lake City is it. And that's my home now. So
yeah,
I think I'm more Australia sick than homesick. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Just sick, maybe homesick for the things that I culturally miss that another person from Australia would recognize instantly. And whereas you have to explain to someone that isn't from the country.
So what are some of those things that you miss about Australia?
The ease of the easygoing individuals that are there. It's not a stereotype. It truly is a fact that Australians tend to be very easygoing, relaxed, non-fussed about things. Also, they're very direct. Americans tend to beat around the bush. They don't want to offend at all costs. They're not as bad as some cultures, but they really don't want to offend. Australians will just tell you straight to your face, this is how it is, this is where it's at. And I've found sometimes when I've been in America, when I've done that, it's like, oh, I think I offended you. But so I miss being around other people that wouldn't take the offense. The food, vastly different, same, but different. It's the way it's prepared. It seems more fresh. The fish is amazing in Australia.
Oh, I bet.
And being on the coast, Sydney and Melbourne, you have immediate access to fresh fish. It would be like living in Seattle or living in Los Angeles or New York. It's right there. And so there's a difference to that. But that's more because we're landlocked in Utah, I think. But just the way they prepare it, the different foodstuffs, the massive melting pot. Melbourne has the biggest population of Greek individuals outside of Greece. And they all migrated after the Second World War. Massive amount of them left. And then we have a huge Vietnamese population, gigantic. You probably know that. A huge Indian population. When you're a kid, when you're growing up, you're exposed to all these different cultures through their foods and their ethnicities and the friends that you make. So, it's remarkable to what you're exposed and what you learn through that. And certainly not in Utah, we don't have that. I don't think to any real degree.
Right.
But in Australia, it's really quite the melting pot, and we have huge swaths of the city. Lygon Street in Carlton, it's a city in Melbourne, or suburb, I should say, and it's all Greek and Italian. So you walk down the streets, and all the restaurants, all the shops are all Greek and Italian. They have some of the best food, and it's just a very different, very cool and relaxed atmosphere. If I was going to mention politics as an analogy, I would say the Republican Party is actually, well, no, let me say this. Our Liberal Party, which is actually the Conservative Party, is closer to the Democrat Party in the United States. So we're not even anywhere close to being as far right as the Republicans are in the United States. So we're moderate to left. So the moderates would be equivalent to the Republicans in Australia would be moderates. So it makes for a very different thing. Everyone's required to vote. It's compulsory, which makes for a very different thing. especially for me. They have a referendum just recently where marriage equality was on the ballot. And so every single Australian over the age of 18 had to vote on that. And it was passed by the majority. That won't change. So
Awesome.
it's not up to 9 people. It's up to the country.
Oh,
So there are some things like
yeah.
that I wish we could change here. And those are the things that I'm homesick for, that kind of, I think that fairness.
Mm-hmm.
No, there's a difference here. And Australians also like to help each other. They're always there for each other in a big way. If it benefits me, it's going to benefit you.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're unwell, then it's up to me to try to help you, because that may help us in the long run. And I wish we had more of that in the States.
Mm-hmm.
There's individualism in Australia. It's all about that, the exceptionalism, individualism. And I just wish we were more about the group mentality and how we could all really succeed as a group, as opposed to just always being the individual. So those are some of the things that I really feel homesick for.
Mm-hmm.
And even just seeing schools with uniforms. That may sound silly, but it's the truth. Seeing seas of school kids with all their uniforms leaving schools, it's just something you don't see here very much in the United States, and it's something I grew up with in Australia, and it's different, just different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you say, like, as far as, I'm always curious about like the education systems in other countries.
Uh-huh.
How would you compare Australia's with the US's?
Australia's is exceptional.
Mm-hmm.
Having been through both, it's very demanding. It's exceptionally demanding. So you as a lawyer, in the final 2 years of your high school, you go through years 11 and 12, and you earn your high school certificate. It's standardized across the entire nation. It isn't different from state to state as it is here in the United States. And there is a cutoff point from out of 100 points, cumulative, from 6 classes you take. I know I'm being laborious, but I'm just giving you an idea. The cutoff score for medicine is 99.6 out of 100.
Wow.
And as you're not paying to go to university, it's deferred through your taxes once you reach a certain threshold of earning, $50,000. But you don't have to pay where you're going. And so it's all based on merit. It's all based on what you've achieved at university, whether or not you get in. You can't buy your way in. It has to be because you're smart enough to get in. Law school is 98.5, or at least it was. So the demands are high. So
what did you decide to study?
When I first went in, because I was very young, I had skipped the 2 years, at 13. So I just figured I'll do a humanities-based degree, but I did English literature and political science. And so that was my first degree. And then during that, I was also learning to play piano. And my next degree after that was a degree in piano performance. So 4 years of that, and then another 2-year master degree after that in piano. And then my mission, and then here, international finance and philosophy. So, which was going to go into law, but I decided not to, because I think I told you that. I was going to be
you did. You told me that you thought about going into law school.
And I'd gotten into Yale and blah, 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 and all that wonderful stuff, and did very well on my LSAT. Are the LSAT still out of 180? Because I got a 176. I don't know whether they're still out of 180.
Wow.
But anyway.
That's a really high score. Good for you.
It was decent. So, but I'm not a lawyer. I'm an interior designer, so I couldn't be more different. But that's all my schooling in one fell swoop. So
you come here, so you go on your mission, go back to Australia, come back to Utah as a student, and then you finish your degree, and then what? I was here, and then I was here longer than I should have been. Let's just put it that way. So I was a bit of an overstay. I continued to work, and that's essentially what I did. And then about 4 years later, I met Bart. And I was with Bart from then on. I've been with my husband for 11 years now. As soon as marriage equality became legal in this country, which was 2015, we got married, and then you entered the picture. Although I'd met you before that, I was meeting with you even before marriage equality to figure out what I was going to do. Yeah, remember? I do remember. Figure out the different avenues legally to me, because I didn't want to be in this situation anymore. And so the marriage equality occurred. We got married, and then change of status, and then there we are. Yeah. Permanent resident. So going back to, so you met Bart. What year was that? It was August 12th, 2009. That was our first date. How did you two meet? Online. Met online, and got together on August 12th, 2009 for dinner over at Trio, just in the neighborhood.
And we hit it off immediately. Really liked each other. That was a Wednesday. I
Mm-hmm.
came back up on a Friday that evening, and spent the weekend, and that was it. That was it. Done. So I've been with him ever since. So we've been together, 11 years and 3 months now.
Mm-hmm.
Married February of 2016, February 1st of
Mm-hmm.
2016. So we've been 4 years married now. So yeah, it's flowing.
Yeah, Bart's so sweet.
He's a good man.
He
He's
is.
a very good man. He's now gone from having his private practice as a dentist to being a full-time professor at the U of U.
Mm-hmm.
He absolutely adores his job, and it has been a complete change for him. A
Yeah.
complete change for him. And indeed for me. This has been the most
Mm-hmm.
busy year I've ever had as an interior designer.
Oh, I
been
know.
nuts.
Everyone's like decorating their
Everyone's
houses
sitting at
and
home.
remodeling and
I
everything.
want that done. I want that done. I want that done.
Yeah. Yep. We're spending so much more time at home.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So going back, so I'm going to go back to when you guys started dating.
Sure.
Obviously at that time, gay marriage was not legal in all states.
No, wasn't even considered, was it?
Yeah. What did you guys talk about? Like how, not really knowing what was going to happen with gay marriage, if that would ever come to be. Like, what did you guys talk about to, like, were there certain things that you guys said, okay, this is how we're going, short of marriage, this is how we're going to show our commitment to each other?
Well, we were going to go through a commitment ceremony.
Mm-hmm.
And we were going to talk to a lawyer with regards division of assets and how we would be on each other's wills, etc., and go down that long route of making sure everything was legally binding.
Mm-hmm.
And but that's just generally how you would do it. But the most thing we could do would be a commitment ceremony. We were planning on something like that, and then it just happened that marriage equality occurred.
Mm-hmm.
They started that process in 2013, and that was about 4 years into our relationship. We're like, oh, well, we wonder if this could actually happen. And so, with bated breath, we waited and saw it happen in, was it July of 2015, June of 2015?
It was June 15th, 2015.
That's it. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
That's right. June 15, 2015, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we were ecstatic. And so that's when we decided, okay, this is the right route to take, and this will be the legal route to take.
Mm-hmm.
And could change things in many ways,
right?
As you well know. And so, and that was very much something that I was looking forward to having permanent residency. A very anxious individual, as I am, it was very nerve-wracking for me. But I will say this: without you, I think you made the process possible. Because of your expertise, because of the lawyer that you are, your patience level, and because you know this so well, you know the system so well. We couldn't have done this without you.
Oh, thank you.
That's a fact. That's just a fact.
So nice of you to say. Seriously,
we couldn't have done it without you. We couldn't have.
Thank you. And it was awesome helping you guys. You were one of the first same-sex couple cases I had.
Oh, really?
Cases. Yeah, because
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, because let's see. So the decision came out in June of 2015, and then you guys got married. What was about 8 months later or so?
Yeah, February 1st. Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys were one of my first cases. So that was exciting. Yeah. That was fun.
I think you said there was one case before us, and you had known how that had gone really smoothly, and then you went with us.
Yeah. So do you remember, the day that the U.S. Supreme Court issued this landmark decision, do you remember like what you were doing that day or where you were?
I don't remember specifically what I was doing, but I do remember the reaction that myself and Bart had when we both got home, and we took a picture specifically to commemorate that in our backyard in front of our koi pond. And we still have that picture, and I actually had that commemorated by having a very good friend of mine and a great artist render that as a pencil drawing, and I gave that to him for our anniversary last year.
Oh, that's sweet.
So I remember the feeling that day and just waiting for the result to come through. And when it did, I think my feeling, from what I remember now, was just disbelief. Like, can this have actually happened? Can we actually get married now? And, you think 2015, well, we should have been able to do this for quite some time, but we're glad that now we can. This is great. And I was just thinking that, I do remember that I just felt elated and shocked.
Yeah.
shocked and elated because it was a very tight decision.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a good day. It was a very good day. And I remember a lot of our friends were calling us, and I
Mm-hmm.
remember lots of congratulations, lots of, oh, wow. Whether we were married or not, it was like, you've got this now.
Yeah.
So I do remember that,
Yeah.
especially on Facebook and what have you. Oh my gosh. So many people from Australia and the US, everybody just, it was a real moment in time.
Yeah, it was. It was a good day
It was a
for
very good
sure.
day. Yeah.
The decision comes out, and then when did you guys start planning your wedding?
We wanted to do it relatively soon.
Mm-hmm.
We wanted to do it certainly while Obama was still president. There was no
Mm-hmm.
question of that. But we thought we wanted to leave it a little bit of time. So we figured we would do it in February,
Mm-hmm.
because Bart was born in February. February 14th is, why can't I think, Valentine's Day. And so we figured February 1st was an absolute perfect division of the month.
Mm.
February 1st, we get married. February 14th, halfway through Valentine's. February 28th, Bart's birthday.
Mm-hmm.
We just figured it would be a wonderful month to do
Mm.
that. And it's early in the year, so it's kind of a new year. It's fresh. And that's why we hit upon that date.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you get married,
Mhm.
and I do remember that we had talked prior
Just barely.
to,
Yeah.
prior to all of this happening. And so did you look online at all just to find out what the immigration process entailed?
Please. It's me. I know other people out there necessarily, but yeah. Good grief. In every possible venue to find out whatever this was entailed, I did.
Mm-hmm.
But what I found out is that truly that was silly, because everybody's case is unique, utterly
Yes.
unique. And no two have the same circumstance. No two have the same person that looks over your paper. No two have the same lawyer or the same situation or the same state. Everything is utterly unique.
Mm-hmm.
But what I did discover that was true is that I think, how do I use this? Maybe it won't come across well. I think that there is a certain degree of impartiality, and I think there is certainly a degree of fairness in the system. I think that if you do everything that you're meant to do and do it all the right way, that you will be rewarded at the end. And it took you to help me understand that, to show me and to guide me through that with your patience, your inimitable patience, that this will result in a positive way. And yeah, that's what made this waiting for the 10-year. I was still nervous, but I wasn't as bad as the first time, even though it was so extra, so much more delayed. I wasn't as nervous, I don't think,
Mm-hmm.
because I still had that voice in the back of my mind and still called you
Mm-hmm.
and realized, no, this will be fine. This will be fine.
Yeah.
This will be fine. So yeah.
What were your expectations going into the immigration process? Just, starting with the very first case. Like, what did you think it would be like?
I had a feeling that it would be utterly overwhelming. I had a feeling that there would be reams and reams of paperwork, lots of red tape to cross, the potential of being denied because of the overstay, and just not knowing the consequence of what would happen. I thought that it would be a tremendous amount of money to get through it, which it wasn't. And so some things, it was overwhelming psychologically.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't overwhelming as far as paperwork or what we have to do or what you organize. Yeah, there is a lot of stuff you have to do, but it wasn't anywhere near what I thought it would be, anywhere near what I imagined it to be. Although I did give you a 3-ring binder, if I'm not mistaken. 2, actually, did I not?
I think you did.
For that first interview, I had one for us and one for them. So overprepared, that's my middle name. But yeah, I thought that it would be much, much, much more involved, and it ended up being relatively straightforward and streamlined and just simply a waiting game, really. It was just a matter of waiting. And when you get that first letter from immigration saying that you're approved to work, and then you get the next letter saying that you have the interview, and then in the interview they say you're good. It's it's an unreal situation, Ling. I don't know whether I can fully explain to you what it feels like on the inside, but it's really quite unlike anything, you know.
Mm-hmm. Like in what ways?
It's like I said, it's a unique situation for every person.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for me, it was just there was an exhaustion
Mm-hmm.
to the whole situation of having been here for so long without having had it correctly.
Right.
You know, the visa overstay. There was absolute tangible relief, weight taken off, and utter joy. Just like I can walk out of here now and I'm really here.
Mm-hmm.
How I went when I first came to go to school here. It's like, I'm really here.
Mm-hmm.
This is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a permanent resident.
Yeah.
I'm going to have my green card shortly.
Yeah.
And it's just so thrilling to know that that happened and that now I can walk into a store and get my license. I can do everything I need to do and everything is 100% good to go.
Yeah.
It's really, it's very hard to explain and explain clearly without sounding too, oh, I don't know what the word is, flowery. It just was really a remarkable situation to have gone through.
Yeah.
And for all the stress and the trials and the tribulations, I would go through it all over again because of that feeling that results at the end. Because you just feel so much. I guess I liken it to having your first kid or your second kid, or that joy that person experiences when they have their child. Same thing. It's nothing. There's nothing that can compare to it because it changes your life. It really does.
Yeah. And I know for a lot of people, like for people who've been here, you know, if they were an overstay or even people who come in undocumented, I don't know from personal experience, but I've talked to enough people to know that it's so stressful and just like, okay, what if I get pulled over for a traffic ticket? Are they going to deport me? You know,
let me tell you, there was a couple of times that I was pulled over for either having a bad headlight or something. And you become, and of course everything was fine, but oh my goodness, the stress that results from seeing those little red, blue lights go off behind you. Now, that's a stressful situation regardless.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But now it's compounded exponentially.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what might happen. Happened to get two really good police officers. But you may have had bad luck. And how does one say this? I was born with the right complexion. And I hate to say that that's sheer luck.
Right.
But that probably did help. Honestly, it really did. And the right sex, those things go a long way. We don't want them to, but they still do in the US. And I don't take that for granted.
Yeah.
It's horrible that that's the reason, but I think that that's part of the reason I was able to not be in trouble. But from that moment on, I'm like, oh, good grief, this has to be legitimized. Yeah. Because I can't handle this anymore. Right. You go to sleep and you don't know whether you're going to get a restful night's sleep. Oh, that was the other thing, and I think I told you that, Lee. For about 5 years, I didn't sleep properly, especially once I was with Bart. You know, that whole time I was unnerved and I didn't sleep. And I finally had the best night's sleep of my life when I had that interview with you and Bart and the immigration. And they said, yeah, you're fine. You're good to go. Yeah. And I just slept. And the next time I slept really well was when I actually got the green card in the mail. Because then it was really, really real. You're right. And then it was just, I think I cried a little too, because it was just such a relief. No more stress, no more anxiety, no more concern about that. You don't realize how much weight that places upon your shoulders. Yeah. You don't realize until it's removed how much was actually there, how much was playing on your mind, keeping you awake in the small dark regions of your mind and the subconscious. It's there. It's just always there, like sleeping with one eye open. Yeah. And you could finally just rest. You could just rest put your feet up and rest. And that was, like I said, that was worth all of the anxiety going through it to come out that end.
Mm-hmm.
And I would implore anybody that's worried about anything like this to, it's better than living without having it legitimately.
Right.
It just is. Because the resolution occurs and then you can breathe.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and I would say more often than not, you will be approved. I like you've said, it's really difficult to not be. There's extenuating circumstances for every case, but I think it's a nerve-wracking situation, but it's worth it coming through that end.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. It really is.
I really loved how you articulated all of the emotions that you were going through, because I know that a lot of people that are going through the process feel those same things.
Well, it's recent, so yeah.
So you get your 2-year green card, right? So for people who don't know, if you marry a U.S. citizen and you've been married for less than 2 years, at the time of your interview, you get a 2-year conditional green card. It's just to make sure, basically, they want to make sure that it's a legitimate marriage. You're not just doing it for, it's not a fake marriage and you're actually legitimately married. And so then 90 days before that 2-year card expires, you have to file a removal of conditions application to essentially get your 10-year green card.
Yes.
So, Leon, I know you went through that. So what were your emotions going through that part of it?
And I'm just texting Bart to see if he can come in and join us, because it would be good to have his perspective.
Yeah.
I think I was in many ways more nervous because we had a different administration at that point. And I knew the administration wasn't necessarily happy with who I was as an individual, being a gay man. And so I didn't know whether it would go as smoothly as it did under the Obama administration. And ultimately it did, obviously. I'm talking to you right here. But it was very different. It took a lot longer. Wasn't it something like 9 months?
No, it was more than that. It was, let's see here.
It was longer? Was it 14
over
months?
Yeah, let's see. So it was in July of 2018 when we filed, and then you got approved in October of 2019.
Really? That long?
Mm-hmm.
15 months?
15 months, yeah.
How did I manage that, Ling? Here's Barty. Come here, Bart. How did I manage that? How did you manage that?
Yes, Bart. Tell us. Me or Bart?
How did I manage the 15 months without going crazy? waiting for my conditional
10-year green card.
10-year green card to be transferred to the 10-year one.
Oh,
how did I manage it?
He called you all the time. That's how he managed.
See, this is why he shouldn't have come in.
You were the one that did it.
There were a number of times I called you for not security, but for assurance that this was going to be fine.
Yeah.
And you were right. And so I just really had to just put my faith in you and the system. And sure enough, it's amazing how it just suddenly happened. It was there. I'm like, oh, it's there. And as soon as I knew, as soon as your assistant called me, I raced down to the office to get the card. I had to get it in my hands just to know this is 100% legitimate.
Yeah.
And I did. As soon as she called me, I came right down. I dropped everything I was doing. I had to have that thing in my hands. But during that time, a lot of anxiety, and the longer it goes, the more anxious you become. I think for the first year, I was relatively okay. But once it passed the 12-month zone of waiting for the card, I became really anxious, didn't I?
Yeah.
It was those last 3 months. It was like, it only took 3 months the whole first time. Why is it taking 12 to 15?
Yeah, the removal of condition part always takes a lot longer, usually.
Yeah, but it was even longer as a result of the administration, wasn't it? There was a lot of changes. I think you mentioned to me that it was taking extra long because so many people came into the system thinking that they needed to become legal just before Trump came into power, and it clogged up the system or something like that.
I'm trying to think. Truthfully, I would say that the removal of conditions part for you was not like extraordinarily long. I've actually seen some cases that took longer than that.
You did mention that. I was right on the average, wasn't I?
Yeah, you were. It actually
it was
processed.
Like 12 to 18 months was the average at that time.
Yeah.
I was right bang in the middle. 15 months. So yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely. So Bart, now that you're here, I want to ask you from
Don't you say anything
from the U.S. citizen perspective, what was it like going through the immigration process for you?
Well, I think it's an educational experience because as a citizen, we never think about what it takes to be in the country, to go through the process of taking care of all that red tape.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it was an education for me because I just didn't know or understand much about the process before that. And I mean, I think that it was, I just didn't understand. So
Mm-hmm.
it was a big learning thing for me too.
So when Leon got his green card, what were your emotions?
I think there are a number of emotions. I think one of them is definitely joy. I think relief. I think a little bit of a sense of security that's a part of it too. Once it's there, it's not tenuous. It's not as tenuous as before, and so you can kind of stop holding your breath and breathe again.
Almost word for word from what I said to you.
Yeah.
Like leaving that room and feeling like, I can actually breathe.
Right.
Yeah.
And so this question's for the both of you. What would you tell people who are going through the immigration process? Like knowing what you know, what's something that you would say?
I think first of all, get an attorney, get a lawyer,
get Ling.
and the reason that I say that and is that the process is so difficult, and if like you since you do it for a living every day all the time, you're an expert at it. And you know what things need to be filed and done and taken care of. It's just another day.
It's second nature for you.
It's another day at the office for you. But for someone that is going through it, for the first time, only time, there's a lot of stuff that is unknown, and so it's worth having someone that's an expert to help you go through it. I think the other thing that I would say is just be patient, and
yes.
and let the system work. I think it's normal for us to be cynical about the government and about the system, but in the end, it's really it is really set up to work. And so have the patience to let the system work the way that it's meant to.
I would just reiterate much of what Bart has said, that without question, get a lawyer, because it takes so much of the stress away from you. You don't know what you're in for. As a lawyer, because you deal with this all the time. And if just for anything, just to remove the stress psychologically, not even the paperwork, just to remove that and have that assurance that this is right. I've done these cases before. This is how it will go. Just to have that from you, those words, it's worth everything. But do it, because it's life-changing.
Yeah. Well, thank you. That's very nice of you both. And to my listeners, I promise I didn't pay them to say any of those things.
No, she did not. I'd pay her all over again just to make sure I could have her as a lawyer.
Do you guys think you'll ever live in Australia?
I mean, I would like to move back at some stage, but I don't think he wants to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Our lives are so busy right now doing the stuff that we're doing here that, is it on the shelf? Sure. It's a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not at the point. I mean, I don't think we're at the point right at the moment where we're ready to take that idea down off the shelf and open it up and discuss it. Mm-hmm. But the day may come, certainly the day may come when that becomes more of an option.
Yeah.
or more of something that we really want to talk about and discuss.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I'd move back tomorrow.
So Leon, living
I
in,
would like him to experience that culture.
yeah. Yeah.
You know, still a young man and be relatively young and be able to experience it and just enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
So Leon, having lived in the US and Australia, what's something that you really love about America?
The sheer size of the country, the beauty of it, it is completely unlike any other country on earth. The different states that we have visited together and separately, there's something really unique about driving from California to Utah and then driving across the Great Plains, how gigantic this country is. Australia is just as big the contiguous United States, but you feel it more here, and I'm not sure why. The different color of blue in the sky, it's very different. It's really quite remarkable. There's just a real beauty to this place. The coasts are really wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, for me, it's the seasons. The seasons are extremely different. You don't really get snow in Australia, and so that's a big thing for me. So you really have those seasons. You really enjoy that. Christmas is in winter as opposed to summer, which makes more sense. So those are some of the things I really enjoy, and of course the friends we've made, and of course my relationship. That goes without saying.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the beauty of this country, first and foremost for me.
Yeah. So let's say you moved back to Australia and you could bring back a cultural thing from America to share with people there. What would it be?
Ooh, that's difficult. What would I bring back, Bart?
Like something that you love about the American culture. This would be a better way to put it. Something you love about the American culture that you would like to share with people in Australia, if there's anything.
Mm-hmm. What would you take back? As an American, what would you take back?
That's a hard question to answer because
what would you take to Japan? I mean, you went to Japan
because I'm taking myself. I'm about as cultural about as red, white, and blue as you can get.
That's not an understatement. Or not an exaggeration, I should say. I was going to say work ethic.
So I would take patriotism.
No, we're very patriotic in Australia.
Well,
although, no, hold on. No, he actually makes a really good point. You can walk down a street and see 25 American flags flying.
Mm-hmm.
Truly. In Australia, you don't. You'll see Australian flags flying on government buildings. That's it. You don't see them everywhere else. You just don't. And here, everyone wants to fly that flag everywhere they possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
If we drive along I-15, how many flags do you see flying along that freeway? And so there is certainly a degree of patriotism that you have. I'm not saying Australia, we don't have patriotism, but it's an entirely different level in this country. Mm-hmm. So he is right about that.
Yeah.
And then you'd take s'mores.
Yes, I should have.
Back in 2010, up in the Tetons, we went to, what was the hotel we went to?
I don't remember.
We do always remember. We can never place it, but it was this amazing lodge that overlooked the entire Teton Valley, and we had an open fireplace in our room, and I said, let's do s'mores. So he went. You're an old Boy Scout,
of course.
So I had one, and then I had 8.
Because I love s'mores.
And every one of them he made was perfect. Like, this is brilliant. So I had to keep eating them. I love fish and chips in Australia, and I would bring them here. I'd like to swap them and have people see the difference. Our chips in Australia, this seems silly, but they're a little soggy, and I really like them, and they have a bit of bite into them.
Yeah.
And they're as thick as your finger. They're like a steak fry, but they're all like that. And they're just cooked differently. In America, that's quite different. And so I would like to see both cultures cross that and see what they thought, because I appreciate both. There isn't a potato I've met that I don't like. Unless it's with onions, then I don't like it. But so I would like to do things like that. It's really hard.
You've left him speechless.
It's a really hard thing to do.
That's quite a big feat.
That is very hard to do.
Well, ask the reverse then. So if you could take something from Australia, whether it be a cultural value, and I always like to ask this question to every guest, because it's always interesting to hear what kind of cultural values their country has or what kind of foods, different
All those
types of
things I
foods.
mentioned earlier.
So all those
The
things you mentioned
schooling
earlier.
system,
Mm-hmm.
the schooling system, the different recipes that we have in Australia, the sense of community,
Mm-hmm.
the desire to truly help each other and to work towards a goal
Mm.
and not be so individualistic.
Mm-hmm.
To be your brother's keeper, if you will, to use that phrase.
Yeah.
To be more relaxed. I know
Mm-hmm.
I'm uptight, but most Australians aren't. I think I've become more so since I've lived in the US. I don't know. But to be more relaxed, to be more free, open to suggestion, to not be so closed off,
Mm-hmm.
and to speak your mind, to just be direct and honest and not beat around the bush and just simply be integrous, be
Mm-hmm.
honest, that kind of thing, to have the sense of, to be a mate. So you call a friend in Australia, they're your mate, they're your friend. It's a different level in Australia than it is in America. And I'd love to be able to bring that over.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things.
Right. So you've lived in America for a while now.
22 years.
Yeah. Yeah. So do you feel more Australian or more American?
I still feel Australian.
Yeah.
I still am an Australian. I mean, I'm a permanent resident here, but I still identify absolutely as an Australian.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I will to the day I die.
Yeah.
That's just how I am.
So last question for you is, what would you say is your proudest accomplishment in the US? That's so sweet.
Truly, it is.
You better say the same thing.
I do.
I make up for stuff.
Hey. I do. Definitely.
Well, you two make a really great couple. And,
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Bart, you are a sweetheart.
Thank you.
And so are you, Leon.
Without you there before, for marrying me.
That's sweet. No.
No, you both are awesome, and I'm so happy that I had the privilege of meeting you both.
Oh, well, and likewise to you.
Yes, we're happy that we had the privilege of making your acquaintance and for the help that you gave to us to get through this whole process.
I can't imagine of going through another lawyer and having someone as exceptional as you are, as an individual, not just as a lawyer, but as an individual to help us through this process. So, yeah, it's been a delight knowing you through this whole situation.
Well, thank you so much. That means a lot to me. I appreciate it.